Ray Lalonde returned for his 13th game on Jeopardy! He won a 12-day total of $354,300 after surviving his second scare in a row and ending the new year tying Seth Wilson and Austin Rogers' number of wins. After thanking Johnny Gilbert, Ken Jennings' instruction was, and Happy New Year to all. As we kick off 2023 here on Jeopardy! We can't help but draw comparisons with what was happening on this stage last year at this time. 2022 began for us with Jeopardy! Legend Amy Schneider seeking her 24th win. And you know what? We got a similar super champion scenario brewing today. Ray Lalonde is looking for win number 13. Now only time will tell if his streak goes on to rival Amy's, but today we welcome Denise and Chris, whose New Year's resolutions I can only assume would be to become Jeopardy! Champions themselves. I don't think Ray's streak will rival Amy's, judging from Chris Panilla's games just last month. He survived a few scares and lost the same week. In fact, just because Matea, Ryan, and Chris's games aired on the 6th of the month they lost, I predict Ray will lose on Friday the 6th, tying Ryan Long's number of wins, and become the second super champion to ever lose on a Friday. Also at this point, I don't expect anyone to rival Amy's number of wins. Rubbings are handmade copies of the engraved plates of this metal that adorn many an old tomb. Ray but then answered bronze and was in the red. The Tragical History Tour is coming to take away with this Christopher Marlowe play featuring Phistopheles. Ray but then answered Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus was the answer that the Daily Double Ryan got in his 14th game, and Christopher Marlowe was the answer on the game James Holzhauer lost. Her first top 40 country hit was Dumb Blonde, which she was clearly not. The answer was Dolly Parton, who came up just the other night on Final Jeopardy! Looking at the Final Jeopardy! Question again, maybe I can say Dolly's an angelic blonde. Chris survived a tumor, and after he told his anecdote, Denise said, "Congratulations." Nice pronunciation, Ray. Austin Powers. He's the snake to my mongoose, or the mongoose to my snake. Either way, it's bad. I don't know animals. After Denise answered, "Who is Dr. Evil?" Ken told her, "Correct, I wish I could give you $1 million, but..." Denise laughs. Then Ken continued, "We'll have to settle for $600. Denise got the first Daily Double, wagered $2,000, got it right, and went to $7,800. My book, Thunderstruck, examines how in 1910, Dr. Holly Crippen nearly committed the perfect murder and fled across the Atlantic, only to be captured later that year with the help of this man's invention of wireless telegraphy. The answer was Guglielmo Marconi, who Ken mentioned in the introduction to Matea Roach's 16th game. Ken Jennings' instruction was, by the age of 23, Guglielmo Marconi had sent his first wireless message. Historical figure, Ken. Besides, I think it's Guglielmo Marconi. Guglielmo Marconi. In Dead Wake, I explored the infamous 1915 torpedoing by a U-boat of this luxury liner with the loss of over 1,000 lives, including some 130 Americans. That tragedy helped convince the U.S. to join World War I in 1917 on the side of the Allies. As soon as Eric Larson said 1915, I knew the answer was Lusitania.
Remember the Lusitania.
Just as an excuse to show this clip once again, I actually did a voiceover for the Lusitania last August for its delayed 107th anniversary. It was actually the first voiceover I recorded on the Sennheiser E835, which I'm still using.
15 influenced the U.S. decision to enter World War I.
And I hope the audio sounds better because I'm recording this in the Sennheiser E835. I even concluded that improvised line. The Lusitania also came up on Amy Schneider's 31st game and was the answer to the Final Jeopardy round on Matt Amodio's 28th game, the day he became a Jeopardy millionaire. And this is the day Ray can tie Matt Jackson. The first round winning $3,800. Chris was in third place at $3,000, and Denise was in the lead at $8,800. It's only the first Jeopardy game of 2023, and Ray's already surviving another scare. One of the categories was the chase. Ray got the first Daily Double in Double Jeopardy for his $4,000, and I knew the answer as soon as I saw the year. Santo Stefano Church in Genoa, Italy is where, according to this tradition, this sailor was baptized in 1451. The year and sailor description gave away that it's Christopher Columbus. Ray unfortunately answered St. Nicholas and went down to $1,000. Looking at the question again, and just remembering that Leonardo da Vinci's birth year was in another question on one of Chris Panilla's games, I'm surprised how often Jeopardy asked for dates in history. Of C.S. Lewis, his first name was Clive. C.S. Lewis was actually brought up on one of the anecdotes on Chris Panilla's 13th game. And this is Ray Lalonde's 13th game. Ray ran the writer's middle names category. In the TV episode Bullets Over Bel Air, Will took a bullet for this cousin, and Philly was supposed to be too dangerous. I felt bad for Denise because she answered French Prince of Bel Air when they needed the cousin. Denise took the lead. The last two questions were crucial because Ray took back the lead, and the very last question was a daily double. He got both daily doubles. Ray risked $1,300, unfortunately answered wrong, and went down to $16,100. If this was any other game, I would have just said Ray got both daily doubles in Double Jeopardy, and unfortunately answered wrong to the two he found. After Ray answered wrong, Ken told him, "You were at 1,000 a moment ago." Ray ended Double Jeopardy and his score going down to $16,100. Denise was in second place at $16,000, just $100 behind, and Chris was in third place at $8,200. The final Jeopardy category was historic crimes. The question was, saying it was stolen by Napoleon, self-styled Italian patriot Vincenzo Perugia took it in 1911. Immediately I noticed that Napoleon was also mentioned in the final Jeopardy question on Ryan Long's 14th game. Dr. Faustus was also mentioned in both of these games. Ryan's 14th game is more relevant in this episode than it is in previous games. What is it with Napoleon and Marlowe? I also noticed the year and immediately guessed the Mona Lisa. I can't remember what I looked up exactly. I think it was oldest photo Mona Lisa or something, and found one from 1911. I then searched Mona Lisa 1911 and found out the attempted burglary. That's also when I was shocked to know that's when the famous painting first became popular. Also, having recently watched a documentary of the Mona Lisa out of boredom to end the year, this was definitely in my alley. And it looks like it was easy for everyone else in the comments because they all answered Mona Lisa. The answer was Mona Lisa. That is correct, stolen from the Louvre. Chris didn't wager anything. My only guess would be he knew Denise and Ray would go all in and hoped they answered wrong. Denise and Ray answered correctly. Denise went all in and took her score to $32,000. Ray also wagered $16,000 and went to $32,100. 3-2-1, 3-2-1-0. Something else I noticed is in Marina Neal's run. She went all in for 3 Final Jeopardy games in a row. She came so close to 4 since she was in the red at the game she lost and bet almost all on the Tournament Champions quarterfinals. Ray is the only other champion who came close to doing that these past 3 games. For the 3rd game in a row, fans suggested one of Ray's competitors should be in the Second Chance tournament. Denise did very well. I just don't know how different this Second Chance competition would be since it was 2 per Super Champion last time. Sure, there were 5, while Chris and Ray are the only 2 Super Champions so far. We'll just see how that turns out because both Super Champions were strongly challenged throughout their run. Congratulations to Ray. He's now at a 13-day total of $386,400, tying Matt Jackson's number of wins. Will he beat Matt Jackson's record tomorrow? And as always, thank you for watching.